Forget that. The real question is if Hurts can help Wick, Smitty become players. And if Lemon Cooper will also turn out to be players. Who gets the credit for this since Jalen sucks? If he can improve Wicks and Cooper, let's see him do it. He's never done it before. Let's see it. Prince, who will get the credit? Of course, Jalen will. Seals, we're a smart fan base. The moment Lemon drops a pass, screws up a route, the whole stadium would start screaming for Cooper. I hope they don't do that. I want him to get on the field. You're going to go through growing pains as a rookie. You're going to have drops. You're going to have missed assignments. You'd be doing Lemon a disservice throwing him into the Wolves. So you drafted that guy at 17 in the year you got rid of AJ to redshirt? If he's healthy, you're not going to put him out there? Really? Seals, wouldn't you say in the West Coast offense you need to be a competent wide receiver and tight end and running back are the first options? Of course. Of course. Hope your offensive weapons can get separation. Hurts doesn't like throwing into tight windows. He'd rather throw the ball out of bounds. DFW, all the things people are saying he's working. Hey, listen, that offense may not look all that hot this year, but the things that Hurts is working on is great. And when you hear people working on different things like that, good. Hey, by the way, I never said Hurts is having a bad camp. I just think your offense doesn't look all that hot. Now, it's going against Vic. But then again, last 2 years, I never heard a problem because you had AJ and Devontae. Q's not locking AJ Brown down every play. That's not happening. This stupid here. So we won't go there. Quez Watkins' best season was with Hurts. AJ Brown's best games. Oh, you're right. Hey, I'm sure the passing game will get much better this year, which it's never been. I mean, look at Prince saying this, and the passing game for 5 years has been terrible. 28th, 18th, 8th, 29th, and 23rd. And Prince will have you believe it's been electric. Offense doesn't look good when we're installing a new playbook and Smitty's hurt. Wow, that's so crazy. Well, then how can you tell me you're having a good camp? How are you telling me that? And Lane, by the way, and Lane was out a week. How are you telling me you're having a good camp then? Isaiah, how are you having a good camp? You didn't have Lane Johnson for a week. You haven't had Smitty for a week and a half now. You haven't had Lemon. And you have one guy catching footballs. How are you, and you're not tackling to the ground. How are you having a good camp? There's a lot of this going on. How are you having a good camp with all those guys out? You're right, Isaiah. Sky's falling? I'm talking about what you've done for 10 days. The fuck are you talking about, guy? Stop moaning, RC. Eagles do not play players that have practiced. Not according to last year. You guys put out Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, and those guys said you played them hurt. Richie Commanders won't have Tunsil playing, though. That's a big loss. Are you lying and saying last year's offense during camp was better than right now? Well, last year you won 11 ball games. How am I lying? You don't wait a minute, Brock. How the fuck do you know what you're going to do this year? That team a year ago won the NFC East and won 11 ball games. What are you saying? How is that lying? They became the first team in 21 years to win back-to-back NFC East, win 11 ball games, and made the playoffs. What do you have to show for? Well, that camp produced 11 wins, a division title, and a playoff berth. What have you produced with this new thing? You don't know. So what are you talking about lying? Exactly. I agree. Hey, Prince, why are you going to be better than you were a year ago? A division champ, 11 wins, and a playoff berth. Why are you going to be better this year? What do you think, Prince? Why are you going to be better? Why are you going to be better? Why are you going to be better? 100% alignment with lesser players. Hey, because we're all on the same page, we may not be the same in talent, but we'll all be in the same boat. There's something to that. Here, watch this. This is why. Because of what you've been saying, the office has sucks for the last the offense has sucked for the last 2 years. I'm assuming you mean that, right? They're changing it now, and they're just thinking it's going to be worse than it was the last 2 years. No, Prince. Why do you believe you're going to be better this year? Because why? Because of what you've been saying. The offense has sucks for the last 2 years, right? They're changing it now, and they're just thinking it's going to be worse than it has been the last 2 years. Okay, what? Can it be worse than 20? No. I just want to know where Prince feels that they're going to be better. Or is this just wishful thinking? You're right. You haven't had Lane. You haven't had Devontae. You haven't had Lemon. But yet, the offense has performed well. I'm not saying Jalen hasn't. So it's almost just a return to the mean. The run game can't be as bad as last year, okay? With a better run game, Jalen will play a little better, okay? Offense was terrible last year. They need to do is be competent. You can't get much worse. Like I said, you won a division title, you made the playoffs, and you won 11 ball games. That's what that offense produced. With AJ. Sills, that Hurts interception is now at 5.2 million views. Okay? Let's see here. Let me go over here. Let's see here. Let me go to the... Oh, yeah, 5.3 million views. A system that has method and reasoning behind it and never been accomplished doing it just to do it. Yes, both were first-time play callers, OC, but Mannion has a reason he does everything. Another year in Vic's system. Okay, not a horrible take. If the Eagles are a top 10 defense by the end of the year, was it worth signing both Carter and Davis to huge contracts? Oh, I got a topic here for that. Oh, my God. The pressure on those two guys? Better not have a shitty game. Both of you. Very few teams have players making over $25 to $30 million. And the kind of money that they've invested. Very few spend that kind of money. You better play your ass off. That will be a focal point for me every game. How well the defensive tackles played. Every game, we will have a DT segment. Offense struggled in camp with Adoree Jackson last year. This year, offense is cooking with nobody at receiver, and you're acting like the sky's falling. They're cooking? JC and JD are going to have all-pro years. No shit. You paid them for it. Alfredo, are you saying something that what? You pay people that kind of money? What are you expecting? Less than Pro Bowl? Or All-Pro? Thanks for not robbing a bank. This guy wants to thank you for not robbing a bank. Are going to have All-Pro years. Of course they are. They better. The hell you paying them for then? Q picked off Jalen, dove for the ball, got it, then punted it. I laughed my ass off when he punted it. Because Vic was talking shit to him and about him in the presser. I think that's really a great relationship that those guys have. I just absolutely love that. Yeah, well, again, you got to remember, you don't know if they're being told not to take people to the ground. And diving at a guy in practice, I don't know, maybe the receiver didn't want to hurt Q. So you don't want to do that shit in practice. So, Q jumped the route because Hurts didn't look him off. But you're not looking to kill anybody in practice. Sills, forget that we just drafted a first rounder. Assume Lemon is a 600-yard guy, okay? Be a great year for him. Would you invest another first rounder in a wide receiver in the next 2 years? Keep in mind, would be cheaper. Wick's only here 2 years. How many? You can't develop anybody else? The second or third rounds? Do you really need to go get a one wideout every time? And by the way, Bird, Howie's not that great at drafting wideouts. We still got to wait and see what Lemon does. Hang in there on Lemon. I'm just talking about the first half of the season. Hey, it's now gotten to a point for me. It's not just about the Commander game. It's now the first half of the season that I'm talking about. I'm now in the room of the first half of the year. This is where I'm at. Okay? Not just the Commander game in 34 days. No. Just got here. Still's making a big deal about the interception clip. No. Everyone else is. An interception in practice? Okay. With Slim Reaper, first wide receiver off the board. If Lemon is a bust, Howie should not draft wideouts for a while. With Slim Reaper, the first wideout off the board, I thought he was the 10th pick back in the day when Devontae was drafted. I thought he was number 10. Am I right when I say that? Seals, you heard about the idiot Bob Iger buying the Lakers. Holy cow. 15 point something million dollars. He bought the Lakers. I think Dr. Jerry Buss bought the team for like what? $17 million back in the day off of Preston Marshall. What an investment that bitch is. Wow. Flexion, if I remember correctly, did we trade with a team in that draft to get Smitty? Yeah, the Cowboys. Chase went first. Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jamar Chase went first. Okay. Cowboys defense would dominate the Eagles offense in a joint practice like they did the Rams. Hey, dude, the Rams didn't have Stafford from what I was told. Or maybe it did. I don't know. I mean, by the way, Battle Royale. Big Z. Battle Royale at 4:30. No NFL team will dump that kind of money on 2 tackles. Eagles will lose 3 quality guys because of it. Yeah, well, hey, Hollywood, that's going to be a focal point of the Philadelphia Eagle defense. You're not only spending that kind of money on those 2 tackles, you're also spending $17 million on that linebacker behind him. The way I look at this, if Lemon isn't a 1,000-yarder every year outside of year one, I think we need the production. Need 2 1,000-yard receivers. Hoss, do you know how impossible that is to have 2 1,000-yard receivers in what the Eagles have had the last couple of years? You want to hear this? The Philadelphia Eagles, prior to AJ and Devontae showing up, never had a 100-catch wideout in the history of their franchise. And you think you're going to get like a big-time wideout on every draft selection, you're crazy. You didn't have a 100-catch guy at wide receiver until Devontae and AJ showed up. It wasn't like you were littered with all these phenomenal receivers that you've had in your past. That's not the case. You're more of a tight end organization. Your tight ends dominated the landscape, not receivers. I was at the game when Michael Irvin went down with the neck injury at the vet. The crowd pissed me off. That was Irvin's last game. Hate Dallas, but I wish he was a Bird. What a competitor. Got great respect for Philly. I know he does. He tells us all the time. I believe in Lemon. He just needs to get healthy. Okay? Tell you what, Eagles better not come playing against my Cowboys. Stop crying, Eagle fans. Bond will get re-signed. You don't let a top 5 LB go. Trotter's a huge downgrade. So you're going to pay Bond next year? Boy, man, you got a lot of guys at the bank standing in line to talk to that teller named Jeffrey Lurie. You got a line all the way to the door and around the corner now with the guys you got to pay. Now you're going to put Bond in the teller line? Hey, Zach, I want you to stand in line here next to a Jomo, Jalix Hunt, Smitty, Hurts, Q, Cooper. You got a lot of guys. Tyler Steen, he's eligible for an extension. A lot of guys. I don't think it's that difficult. Look at the Cowboys, Bengals, Rams, Vikings, etc. We didn't used to have that, but we didn't win Super Bowls until we have the recipe. It's doable. Okay? Bro, until your Cowboys make it to an NFC title game in the 21st century, keep your mouth shut. Hey, hey, how about this? Make it two. You're right. Make it two. Man, the Cowboys haven't made a conference championship game in 30 years. Damn. How much cap do you estimate the Eagles will have next season? With Lane and Goddard off the books. Remember, you still got cap issues with those guys when they leave. Because you got the void years. Now, Howie may give them parting gifts to bring that money down. Dan Sileo, I still believe in Makai Lemon. Believe he'll be great. He just needs to get healthy. Not writing him off just yet. Oh, man, you shouldn't write that guy off until next offseason after 27. That's when you write him off or you prop him up. Dude, that guy's got 34 games to show he can play in the NFL. After that, you'll know. You'll know halfway through those 34 games if the player's a good player or not. But he's got 34 games. He's a first-round draft choice. And he's going to get about 34 ball games to prove he can be an NFL player. Cowboy fans talking shit about us having a ring. We got two now, knocking on the door for another. Been to 4 Super Bowls since 96. You know what's happened, Forrest? You guys are like the Red Sox talking shit to Yankee fans. You guys have had numerous World Series rings in the last 25 years, and the Yankees have had one. And they're still talking about their banners from 1952. I mean, that's kind of where you are now. Trotters like Dean. I don't think so. '49ers at least have made a Super Bowl or an NFC title game a few times themselves since 2000. Shit, yeah. Who else has done that? And made it. Shit, the Jets have been to conference title games since 2000. Think about that, Forrest. The New York Jets have been to more conference championship games than the Cowboys since 2000. Put that in your hat. JD5, mom against smashing by Diggs. Hopefully he gets JD5 rides to practice. It's like the Irish boomer still talking about the ring in 88. Hey, Kyle, Notre Dame has had 2 national championships since 1977. 77. They've had 2 national titles. Since 1977, Montana's last year at Notre Dame in 88. You would think that those guys have been winning national titles like every other year. 2 titles since 1977. Almost 50 years ago. $31.7, never forget it. We own the Niners and Purdy. Purdy has a winning record against you, I think. Doesn't he? How many wins does Brock Purdy have versus the Eagles? He's 2-1. How are you owning him? Brock Purdy's 2-1, dude. I mean, according to you guys' stats. Let's see, hold on. Well, then how are you bringing up 31-7 against Purdy if it's not a relevant stat? Oh, I see. It only works for you guys. I got it. Let's move on to another one here. How many years do you guys think your Super Bowl window is open right now? And do you think it's open? I don't believe this is a Super Bowl team. I think it's a Super Bowl roster. But what you're asking it to do, I think it's going to hurt it. Once again, I don't have a problem with the roster. I have a problem with your approach. How many years do you think you still have a Super Bowl window? 5 more years. Two, counting this year. Counting this year. Can only be Purdy when he's hurt. He always gives you girls the belt. What's that? Say it again. Sills, some of these people can't write. Sills, I have told all. Here he goes. Sills, I have told all I am from Delaware Randy White, by far the best player in the NFL to come out of the state. True story, my cousin, Kathy, went to prom with him in 72. Do you still talk to Randy? Every now and then. I talk to Ed Jones more. My wife and I love Too Tall. The last time we saw Too Tall was at the Super Bowl. And we got a great picture of me and her and him. And we've known Ed Too Tall Jones probably, Jesus, almost 35 years. I've known Ed about 37 years. Tremendous guy. All I know about San Francisco, Purdy got his back blown out by the Eagles 31-7. We own Purdy. We smoked his arm like a cigar. What happened in the playoff game? Sills, what's your favorite Super Bowl game? I'll tell you, I like that Patriots comeback win against the Rams. I like that one. I like the Steeler-Cowboy 35-31 game. I like that Giants, Eli Manning beating Brady's undefeated team. That was a pretty good Super Bowl. The Kansas City 49er game in overtime was good. Those some of them there. That Cowboy Super Bowl over the Bills. The Giants Super Bowl with the Norwood miss was pretty good. Now, you always bring up, how about Brady coming back 28-3 against choke artist Kyle Shanahan? A great one. But we talk shit how the Commanders beat us when Jalen got a concussion. So the Eagles was up 21-0 on Cowboys and got shut out by Matt Eberflus and his defense in the second half. They sure did. And they ran the ball well. Is Cooper and AB the same situation when AB's rookie year. Remember something, though. Pittsburgh doesn't draft wideouts in the first round. That's not what they really do. All of their great wideouts, outside of guys like Lynn Swan, I don't even think Hines Ward was a first rounder. Pittsburgh doesn't spend like a lot of money on first round draft choices at wideout. All their legendary wideouts have been late round picks or mid round picks. Nobody really big like first round. That's not what they do. Now their player development was better back then. Those are two big wins on Eli's resume with his 500 record. Huge wins twice over Bills, Patriots, two amazing throws. People remember that. Yes. I said rarely. Here. In the last, let's put this in here. Last 50 years. Last 50 years. How many first round wide receivers have the Steelers drafted? Let's see here. Okay. So, let's see. 2006, Santonio Holmes. See? 2000, Plaxico Burress. So in the last 25 years, they drafted 3 wideouts. In 25 years. 2 wideouts. Excuse me. Santonio Holmes and Plaxico Burress. In the last 25 years. Funny how the Eagles know history about all other teams doing their 52 years of losing. The Eagles have been a great organization since 2000. They have been. And there's no getting around it. I think it depends on how this new system performs. If it ends up doing a top 12 offense, I think we have another 2 to 4 years. Assuming it could continue getting younger on offense, the system is the key. Well, they change their system every other year. So I was looking at Hard Knocks last night. The Ravens really dropped the ball by letting Mike McDonald go, then getting rid of Harbaugh. Well, Mike McDonald won a Super Bowl, became a head football coach. You had to let him go. But letting John Harbaugh go? Dude, he'd been there 18 years. I mean, it's not like a Supreme Court seat where you're going to be a coach there forever. I think Jesse Minter has got a really big hill to climb. By the way, as I do Sean Mannion. Kevin Patullo had a gravy train last year. I think Sean Mannion has an almost unwinnable situation. You got to rely on if your O-line's going to be healthier. You've got to rely on 4s and 5s to improve the passing game. And you're really leaning on Hurts to be able to have a smooth transition from going from one style of play to another style, which he hasn't done. You're asking a lot of players who have never done this. And a coordinator who's never done it with lesser talent. I think that's a big-time ask, dude. Kevin Patullo had AJ. He had the same personnel, basically, minus AJ, that Sean Mannion has. I mean, there's no difference. This guy just says you shit on Woolen for getting fired from the Seahawks. Why doesn't he get the same grace as Harbaugh? What do you mean? Jesse Minter? I don't know what he's going to do. Who himself got his ass fired from Baltimore. Don't we shit on people who get fired here? What do you mean? He got fired he got a raise in New York. He's now making $22 million a year as a head coach. I'd like to get fired and get a raise like that. He went to becoming the highest paid coach in pro football. Talk about getting fired. So, M. Reyes wants me to shit on a guy who got fired and got a raise in New York. The guy got a raise. He now makes $22 million a year. I mean, hey, how'd you like to get fired and get a raise? Hey, John Harbaugh, man, he got himself fired. Yeah, for a better job. Whew. Wow, what a take, Reyes. Wow. He got himself fired for a better job and more control. Woo! And in New York. Hey, Sue, that's something else. Wow, John Harbaugh got himself fired because of the poor coaching. Well, what happened? Well, he got a raise, and they gave him more control. Where's he coached? The New York Giants. Okay. Hey, man, what a take that is. Hey, that's a really good one. Let's see here. Why didn't they fire Harbaugh first then? Our window is closed as long as Nick, Mr. In-Game Adjustment guy, Sirianni's the head coach. I didn't say your window's closed. I think this football team this year is going to have a lot to have to overcome. I think you got a Super Bowl. I think you might have a Super Bowl roster. But the direction of the team is my problem. I told you that. Well, look at the company that comes in here. See here. Harbaugh, more money, more power. Try again, fanboy. Oh. Here we go. Watch this. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen all have their head coaches fired. Who's the next elite quarterback to get their head coach fired? And Jalen Hurts got his coordinator fired. Did he not? Senor, with that mentality, did Hurts get Kevin Patullo fired? Did he get Brian Johnson fired? Did he? Senor, I'm curious. With that mentality, did Hurts get Kevin Patullo and Brian Johnson fired? No. His head coach that has been there forever. No, Jalen has a new OC every year. No. Of course not. How he makes those decisions. John McMullen says that Nick does. Well, here, wait a minute. Josh Allen's OC got elevated. So Josh Allen got Joe Brady a job. Is that right? Or no? So wait a minute. Senor, Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator a year ago. He got him a job. He's the new head football coach of the Bills. So did he get him a job? And did he not prefer that guy over Sean McDermott, a play calling head football coach? Didn't he get Joe Brady the job? Or what? Wait. So wait, that doesn't work there. Didn't Allen just get Joe Brady that job? Picking and choosing. Bro, Sileo's the worst, bro. Stop picking and choosing when the shit applies to your players. I don't do that. You guys do. I fight back. He's the one that says he got me. Get this. Prince just said, I said this. No. Senor said that he got his head coach fired. Well, Prince, didn't he get Joe Brady the job? Guy you preferred? He elevated him. I'm just answering Senor. So here, got 2 OCs head coaching gigs, and he got 2 coaches fired. Right? It's got to apply both ways. Senor, if he got 2 guys head coaches, he got 2 coaches fired, right? Or no? So he got Shane Steichen and Jonathan Grenard, and Gannon, a head football job. Well, Brian Johnson and KP got fired. Hurts never got his head coach fired. We were just talking about OCs, why he's had so many, because he got them fired. There you go, Prince. Move the goalpost, Junior. Good at it. J-Mac does not. I like the way John McMullen works and covers the team for us. Puka Nacua got suspended. Did Puka Nacua get suspended from the Rams? Well, that'll hurt him in that 49er game. That's for damn sure, if that's the case. I haven't seen that yet, but suspension's pending. Well, if he misses that, that's going to hurt that. Hey, that's why everybody's saying, give the Rams the title. Yeah, hang in there. Let's see here. Afternoon Sales, are you still casting doubt on the potential productivity of the 26th season from the Eagles? Just tune in. Yes. Hey, Jonathan, I don't believe you can do it. Well, we'll find out. And I don't believe that cast of wideouts can do it. They got to earn it just like everyone else. Well, if you're talking Cowboys, for damn sure. Hey, Prince, you know what? Hey, you know what's really cool? Between both shows, my other show on the weekend, we're doing 8 million people watching it. How you doing, kid? And wait till this football season here. You don't have to be here, guy. This is not the military. This is not like you don't have to be here. AJ cooked sauce yesterday. Crazy everyone loves calling him washed, but still saying he quit on every single Eagles show. It's time to move on. He's not an Eagle anymore. I think he gets 1,700 this season, if healthy. Seriously, Prince, this is not the military. Let's see here. Tell you what, bro, all good. Hope it's good for you. Average wide receivers can't get the job done. Well, average wide receivers can get the job done if the quarterback elevates them. Absolutely. If the quarterback say like, oh, look at a guy like, again, we're talking about the greatest of all time with Tom Brady. Okay? And he's elevating Amendola and Edelman. Speaking of great interview with Tony Dungy on your Outspoken show 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Isils, which head coaches are on the hot seat for this year? Do you think Nick's on that list? I don't think so. But because of the way they do things like that, yeah. There's a lot of people that say that. Let's see here. Chiefs won a Super Bowl with average wide receivers. Well, you got Patrick Mahomes. Yes, sir. You got Mahomes. Let's see here. Sauce Gardner hasn't been the same since his first 2 years. I think he hasn't been the same since that injury. Remember, he's coming off of an injury, too. So he may not be the same this year. Remember how, and the Colts gave up a bounty for that guy. AJ purposely played down his performance as an Eagle. My question is, how in the world the Eagles didn't notice it? You think AJ Brown played down to his potential? Maybe at the end a little. Okay? Maybe at the – but so wait, AJ's fault for the entire offensive production a year ago? That's on him? Man. I'll say. All right. I heard Xander today, and I'm going to continue the conversation about Lemon. He's right. I can't remember who he was talking to. He was talking to another guy in John. And I'm going to get Xander up here in a minute. But Xander said this, boy, I really expected a little more from a first-round draft choice this year. Especially since you moved off of A.J. Brown this season. I'm now getting to a point where I'm concerned about the first half of the season for this guy. So without further ado, don't forget, always check out Birds 365. John McMullen does a great job.